What's up, everyone? Professional bass angler Aaron Lesieur and Lowrance Pro Staff team member. I'm coming to you here from my man cave, and I wanted to put together this video to show you how to install the brand new Lowrance Point-1 GPS antenna on my 2011 Ranger Z119. Now, this new Point-1 antenna is the fastest antenna that Lowrance makes. It just currently came out. It's going to give you the fastest updates for when you're out there on the water on the GPS system, and also when you're driving for your headings. So this is important when you're driving in the fog, or you're out there trying to fish waypoints on a big body of water and you're coming up on the waypoint, so you need your waypoints to be super accurate to get those super accurate casts to those fish that are holding on some structure or some cover down there. So with the Point-1, you're going to get obviously the antenna in the box. You're going to get your instruction manual. There's a template for the installation. You do get a 15-foot NEMA cable. What it doesn't come with are all the T-connectors, so you're going to have to get yourself a NEMA starter kit, and that's this one here. And you can see the part numbers on there. It's 12469. It's the NEMA 2K starter kit. It comes with a 2-foot cable, another 15-foot cable. It comes with the 3 T connectors and 2 resistors that go on there. The only problem is if you're trying to network up 2 units, so I've got one at the helm and one at the bow, you need 1 extra T connector. This one only comes with 3, but you're going to need 4, and you'll see why later on, why you need that extra one when you're doing the networking on the 2 units. If you're not going to network them up, then you don't have to worry about the extra connector, but I had to go out and get 1 more T connector to make everything work correctly, so I can have using the antenna on the helm when I'm cruising around and on the bow when I'm up fishing up front, so both of them have that accurate antenna data. Okay, I'm up here at the front of my boat. Let's talk briefly about what tools you're going to need for this job. You're going to need a Torx wrench, a T20, a drill and some drill bits, a Phillips screwdriver, some zip ties, medium length, and a pair of scissors. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to remove the front panel on the bow so we can get access to the little hole or tunnel that runs all the way to the bow, so you can thread your NEMA cable from where the antenna is going to go up to the front graph. So the first thing we do, and I've already done it to save time, is remove all of the Torx bolts that sit on this front panel. Then you remove the panel to get access to that access pipe on the front of the boat. Be careful, move it out of the way. You don't have to unhook all the wires that are in here. Now, on the front of these Rangers, there's a corrugated flexible pipe that runs through the side of the boat that allows you access for all the wiring. So I've already done it to save time. I've ran the wire through the little pipe. Now you need to use a electrician's fish tape, so you can hook it on to one side of the wire. Actually, you run the tape through first, grab your wire, and then thread it back through. It's a little bit easier if you have 2 people to do it, so one person can help feed it from underneath, because there's a lot of cables down underneath the front console, and so sometimes it'll get hung up. So if you have 2 people, it makes it a lot easier while one person kind of threads while the other person pulls it through. So then you'll have your cable all the way through, and you have your access up here, so you have your cables that'll plug into your front unit. And then once you've got your cable up here, you can go ahead and you just reassemble everything, put all your Torx screws back into your front panel, and then use some zip ties to get all your wires kind of in an orderly fashion up here up front so they're not dangling around everywhere. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is decide where we want to put our antenna. You can try to possibly mount it on the rear. I've seen guys put their antennas towards the back. Some guys will put them over here by the driver's seat. But on the Z119, there's a nice little flat spot right here where the console meets this compartment right here. So I've decided to put it here because it also gives me easy access for all the wiring, because underneath here is where the backbone can go. That wire from the front graph can meet up here in the backbone. So this is kind of a central area I can tie in when we tie in the power to the backbone. It's all right here, so it makes it really simple. So in your Point-1 instruction manual, in the box, you're gonna get a template. So I've already cut this one out. It's the same size as the antenna, and it's got a forward facing triangle here that you want that facing forward towards the boat, so when it's picking up the information, it always knows where the front of the boat is, and so that'll coincide with your little triangle on your GPS. So you got two holes here. Those are the mounting holes, and then you need another hole drilled there to have the wire that goes through. So I put some tape on the back, and I'm gonna get it all centered up where I want it, right here on the console. And once I get that done, you can either poke little holes and use a marking pen on where these are gonna go, but I'm gonna use a hammer and a little screw. This is like a starting tool. I'm not exactly even sure what it's called, but I'll punch it on all three spots, and that'll help me start where the hole's gonna go when I start the drilling. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, and then we're gonna start drilling into the console next. Okay, now that I've got my template placed in the area that I want the antenna to be mounted, I've got my two tools here to make my marks so I can know where to drill. So I've got my 3 on here. So you find the first mark where the screw is gonna go, give that a tap. This one's where the antenna cable is gonna go. Give that one a tap. And then this is where the other screw is gonna go. Give that a tap. And now I've got my areas marked. I can remove the template, and now we're ready to start drilling. Okay, now that we have our holes already marked out, I've already drilled the first one. You're going to need a countersinking drill bit. What this does is it drills your original hole that your screw is going to go in, and then does another hole a little bit wider above it, so when you mount this, you don't get any spider web cracking in your gel coat. So it's very important that you do a countersink when you're always mounting something to your boat. So I'm going to drill this next one here for the screw mounts. That's the countersink. We're going to change our bit out to do the larger hole. Now for the antenna cable itself. This one we don't need a countersink on because we're not actually putting a screw in it. Just make sure you go nice and slow in the beginning. Make sure you got it where you want it there. Whew. Don't do that. Just be careful when you're going through that. That's pretty thin material right there. Now we're going to vacuum it up, and I'm going to show you how to mount the antenna on there. Okay, now that we've got our holes drilled, let's go ahead and install our antenna. We got to make sure that the arrow on the front of it is facing towards the front of your boat. So the first thing you'll do is you're just going to stick your antenna wire through the hole that you drilled there. Easy enough to get that all the way down in there. And then you'll line up your antenna with the holes that you drilled. There and there. And then just screw it down tight. Okay, now that we have our wiring all set up at the front and our antenna set up over here on the helm, I've already went ahead and set up the wiring to my dash mounted unit. That's just a little 2-foot cord It already goes through the hole that I have for my current Lowrance unit. That one's really easy to install. Let's talk about putting together your backbone. Now, the first thing you need to do is you set your terminator. You have two terminators that go on either side of the backbone, and you need one on each end. So you put one terminator and the end of the first T. Now this first T is going to go to your external antenna. Then we set up another T. Now this one's going to be for your power unit. Now all of this is in the installation guide that comes with your antenna, and there's a PDF version on Lowrance.com. And all of this information as far as setting this up, how to calibrate, and we'll show you how to do install the antenna on your unit to have it recognize it in the next segment. So this is going to be an antenna, then you got your power, then the next two are for your units. So I'm not going to show you up underneath how I hook these up on video underneath the helm because it's too dark underneath there, but I am going to provide you a couple pictures. So take a look at these pictures of how I install the wiring, hook the power up, got the backbone all set up. I'll put it up in there with some zip ties to make sure it's all buttoned up, looking nice, and it's out of the way. And so you're going to have 4 T's and 2 terminators, and it's going to look like this. So then again, you have your antenna, then the power, then your 2 units. All right, we're on the home stretch. Second to the last step, I'm going to show you on your touchscreen HDS how to have it recognize the new Point-1 antenna that you just installed. You hit your Pages key, you go over to Settings, then you go down to Network, you go over to Data Sources, you select GPS, you get a drop-down menu, you hit All Data, you get another drop-down menu, and it's going to say Point-1. You clicked on Point-1, and then you just hit Close, and you're all set on the touch screen. Now let's go over to the front where the Gen 2 non-touch is, and I'll show you how to do that one. Okay, on your Gen 2 units, what you do is you go into, you hit Menu, then Menu again, then you scroll down until you see Network. You press your soft key to select Network, go down to hit Data Sources, click over, you're on GPS, you click over again, then down to select All Data, and you go down, and this one already recognized that the Point-1 was on there, so this one's ready to go, so I just hit Close, and we're all set. Okay, you're on the last step, but you can't do it from your garage. You got to get your boat out on the water, bring your manual, and you got to do the auto calibration mode. In your manual, it's got the step-by-step instructions on how to perform it. Once that's done, then you're ready to rock and roll with your new Point-1 antenna. Now, if you ever get stuck or have any trouble with it, make sure you visit Lowrance.com. On the support tab, there's frequently asked questions, and there's a 1-800 number so you can contact technical support directly. So hopefully this video helped you install your new Point-1 antenna and you enjoy it out there. So until next time, stay focused, fish hard, and I'll see you out on the water.